it's your boy Spew, and with me today is a band from Richmond who are immersed in a sea of metal and hardcore, but despite that, they live well and are loved just as much. And we're going to find out what makes them different in a minute, but in the meantime, without further ado, it is my absolute honor and pleasure, and I mean that, honest to God, to introduce to you Wertlos. What's up, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honor to be here.
No, it is my honor, and thank you so much. But so, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Ty. I do guitar, and then I spit and hiss and growl mostly. So,
yeah, I'm Emily. I am on the synths.
I'm Kevin, rocking the drums.
Kellen, bass.
All right. Well, so now, first things first, before anything else, you just got off what looked to be like a pretty fun tour. How was that?
yeah, like it was a short little run that we did on the West Coast. Really, it was based around this festival that ended up falling through, which happens all the time in the music business. And so we changed and we played with a really great group of artists. Particle Sun, Been in the Bloodshots, What the Fuck, in Portland, and at Twilight. That was awesome. And then we played at the Fun House in Seattle, and that was wild because that's a crazy place. So, and it's actually funny because leading up to, we were supposed to play a place called Bad Bar in Seattle, and we were just staying like a block away from it. Something like that, like a block. And we were like, all right, we're going to go out in the morning and get coffee and shit and whatever. So we walked past it. We're like, oh, we're going to go look at it. And it had these signs on it. And they were like from the police, from the sheriff's office. And
yeah, like no trespassing.
Like eviction notices. And at first I was like, oh, this is like their motif, like their Bad Bar. They just like have like police stuff. After some more investigation, they had just been shut down the night before. So we didn't think that we were going to have a gig. We had gone all over there and nobody had told us anything. So we didn't know. And then Booker hit us up from Funhouse and threw us on that gig because they knew that we were. So it was great because it shows the community too for underground music and, saving you in a pinch like that. So, I mean, learned a lot of lessons running out there.
Yeah, learned a lot of lessons, but it ended up great.
Y'all had a good time?
Oh yeah,
It was awesome. It was better than I think that we imagined it would be. So,
well, that's great. So, okay, Wertlos is an industrial band, and one of the things I'm really interested in learning, if I can, is where you're coming from emotionally, because industrial is new to me. But one thing I know is that when I heard Mitternacht, that's your current full length, the second I turned it on, Nagel is the first song. Am I saying that correctly? Okay, that song hit. And I feel like that song helps to kind of define the shape, the mood of Wertlos' songs. So where are you coming from emotionally, just songwriting period?
Well, I would say that it's the core of Wertlos is like worthless. So all of those worthless things like anger, depression, self-doubt, all these things that you go through, whatever. It's Wertlos kind of puts all of that under a magnifying glass and then sets it on fire, and that's what we do. We get it all out. And that's what the music's about too, and the lyrics. It's like your darkest, deepest moments in your life that everybody goes through and what you do in them and how they change you forever and how we all go through them. And are like, for Mitternacht, it was like way more of a general angst, anger, all that stuff, self-reflection, where our new album, Relapse, has much more specific message about like not only personal growth, all of that, but about examining the system, right? and that sometimes it's not always your fault. It's the system's fault, And so, with that, I think that you have to be real honest with yourself. It's like, so the emotions are really deep, and then we put it in like German, and in our new album, we're going to have like Finnish and Spanish, and just to also add another layer of your own introspection what do you get from that? So you don't speak the language, right? It might change the message. It's really reflects on how you take it, I think that you can read the lyrics and they even have deeper meanings. But I think that the first, especially for just English speakers, like native English speakers who don't, most of us in America don't speak another language, when confronted with another language in like a really hard way, what it makes you take from it, and what you get out of it. Because that's how I experienced all of that growing up. I think most of us with, that type of music like Laibach or Rammstein, anything like that, Verinamu, it's like when you're not able to speak the language, it's just like, oh, this is crazy and dark and another tool in this band's arsenal. And you're not worried so much about the specific message, and you get to kind of like delve into your like self a little bit, into the darkness of yourself.
Do you all understand much of Wertlos's music? At least?
Not at all.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, no. Ty very graciously will share the translation after he's written a song, and that helps with the songwriting.
Yeah, we get
in
translations,
general.
but no, I don't I don't know it.
He's the only fluent speaker.
Yes.
I got a few words, but that's
they're
about
being
it.
modest. They're being modest. They're being really modest.
Do you find that it's easier for you to express what you want to get out in a different language? Is there something about German, and you said upcoming Finnish, Spanish? Is it easier for you to summarize everything that you want to say in a different language?
That's a great question, and it is totally spot on because it's true. Especially, I don't know, loving music and being into music and listening to every way an English word can be used in different songs. It gets like connotations and stuff. To me, it did. So like, but listening to it in German and Finnish and Norwegian, it's like these words that I've never heard it like that before. And it's like the same sentence, but it's very powerful and different and new. And it's the same kind of words, love, fear, whatever. But you've heard them so much in English that it kind of gets stale to me. And the message can be kind of, conflated with that, which I don't know if that's correct, but that is the way that I approached it. There's also an inherent hardness in German. They hit the consonants really hard and stuff. And so, of course, and a lot of the Scandinavian languages are also like that, of course. And with Spanish, you get like a cooler flow, but we want to try to make it sound a little harder and do it more in the Wertlos way. And, it's fun to be able to attack like the same lyrics in a different way, in a different tone. And it's very much makes it easier to put out, stuff that's really deep like that, because it's almost, it has that shell, that first shell, that real hard outer layer, the German layer.
Well, I mean this in the most artful, like endearing way, the same way that it's used in death metal or grindcore. But your vocals are disgusting, right? but and of course,
thank
you for saying thank you, because I'm glad that you understand like how I mean when I hear Wertlos's music, which it sounds to line up with your vocals perfectly. I mean, I don't know that it would hit me as deeply as it does if your vocals were used in a different genre, sludge, doom, or something like that. But are you going to a specific place in order to sound the way you do, to use that dialect, to take advantage of German? Are you going to like a special place in your head when you're recording it, when you're performing it live? I mean, do all you do the same thing? Do you go somewhere different?
I think that we all kind of get here right when we start to get our gear on. So it's kind of hard for us to like be chill. We're Wertlos. So when we put the gear on, we become Wertlos. And I think it's the most extreme of whatever feeling. Like, so you lost your a loved one or something. It's really being in the most extreme feeling of that, and really feeling it the most you can, whether it's anger or dissatisfaction, or how you feel when you expose a lie and you're like really dwelling in that, I think, is what Wertlos is really about the most. And with the mechanical, machine-like way that industrial metal does it, and more specifically Nur durch Härte, because it's able to lean more into like the slower parts of the metal. Like we like to do more like doomy stuff, just because so you can dwell a little bit longer, I'd say.
I'm glad you used the word doom. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about if you were to change the guitar tones and the synth tones to a lot of your songs, you may get a doom feeling, a sludge feeling. Are you inspired in any way by doom, sludge, bands like Sleep or something, or even Black Sabbath?
Yeah, because we're all American, so I think there's a lot of that in there. The grunge, the like stoner metal is like there's a layer in there that's our American spin on Nur durch Härte, and we're not like just going to do we've already started doing something different than that. That's more of Wertlos industrial metal. That's, I don't really know. It's like mechanical, yes,
genre bending,
right? That's also like,
I think the doom sound specifically too came from trying to fit into, Richmond has a lot of that to it, and not necessarily fitting in, but being part of it and making our music kind of represent the city a little bit.
Well, okay, so that's great for me to hear, because I'm wondering now, did you realize when you were doing that, let's say slowing things down, dropping the BPM a little bit, in order to maybe reach for that's not the right word, reach for acceptance, but exactly how as you just described, did you realize that you had something pretty damn original with that? Like the slower,
yeah. I think it definitely changed the sound for us too, and set us in a direction that definitely helped the growth.
Yeah, I would say that the main deal about it is it gave us all time to breathe on stage. Because
well, you especially, you and Kevin over here,
me some time to breathe on stage.
That's real. Did you experience that a lot on this last tour? Were you up there thinking like, okay, so now we're gonna? Did you play Rouse, the latest single?
No, we're saving it.
Oh, you are?
Just saving it. Well, we have our album release show at Odin's March 14th, and we're gonna do a lot of the album. So we're gonna debut Rouse and stuff. It's gonna be really cool.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited. Oh man, am I? So Rouse is another song that is it's slower, but it's not a departure. It's when I hear it, I think this. I don't know how this is gonna come off. Maybe this needs to get edited out or something. But I want to bring this up with you guys because it's important to me, right? I hear certain, let's say, specialty genres. I've never thought this way about industrial until now, and I think of what drug does this make me feel like I'm taking? You know what I mean?
That's great. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's amazing.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them. Yeah. It should. It's because if you listen to it, it is like slowed down, but when it hits and it doesn't really like change, but it just gets so big. And I think that's the whole, I don't know, cacophony of all the feelings, all of it, all the drugs, whatever, because Rouse in that song is, out with the old, in with the new. And it can be about addiction. It can be about getting someone out of your life, about getting you, the old you, out of your life and the new you into your life. It could be about getting the old people who run this country out and new people in. It could be about a lot of things, right? And it's open to interpretation, and the song is supposed to just give you that setup, that feeling, right? And being in German, it's for our American fans, which is like all of them, and it's like that's what's supposed to happen. It's like a setup so that you can now live in that, be whatever it is. If it's about drugs, like you just said, that's your own. Like it's an interrogation is basically what it is. So your answers reflect on yourself, right?
Well, I mean, I did think of a certain drug, at least for Rouse.
Well, then give it to us.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
DXM, which is if you drink a lot of Robitussin.
Yeah. And then you do the what's it called? The
Robo-trip?
Robo-trip. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the reason I say that is because you can, or so I've heard, you can feel slow from smoking a bunch of pot. And you can also feel that way from the Robitussin stuff. But I don't get the like weedy kind of like mood from Wertlos. I get Robitussin, but not all the time though. Okay, we'll go with the song that hooked me, like Nagel, right? Lots of time, because it is such an amazing song. I told Ty off camera that it's rare that you hear a song and when you love a band, you hear the whole song. You love them after that, maybe after the completion of the album. I loved Wertlos in the first second that I heard Nagel.
That's amazing.
Oh, well.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Thank you for writing it. But that wasn't like a barbiturate in that moment, but it also wasn't a cocaine either. And that was something more controlled, and that's what I feel Wertlos's music is. It's not chaotic. It's very controlled and it's very organized. And you mentioned mechanical before because it's industrial. Do you ever reach a point in the production phase when you know that it's becoming too clean, too cold, and we need to maintain some humanity? Do you ever have a conflict between the engineering that you're doing versus just your own human hands?
Well, because Kevin is writing the drums and he sets it up, it's already very human in its backbone. So we're almost kind of cyborging that. And, adding the industrialization into that because he's just keeps evolving into a very slick player. So it's hard to keep up. But that
is very true.
It's very true.
Yeah. And I think, too, because we've all known each other so long and we know each other so well, that it's easy for us to build a song off of how Kellen and Kevin are feeling, or Tyler's words and how he sings. So I think that gives us an edge as well.
Yeah. It being a family definitely makes it a whole lot easier to
So then do you know after the song is written, if this is the process, but let's talk about the synths for a second. I hear that and I think textures. Where do the textures and the synths come in along the process of writing? Is it done simultaneously or is it done during completion?
I think it happens simultaneously. I think the textures, like you're talking about, kind of give it the atmosphere of like what the song is going to try and portray, of like where you're going to be, and the vibe of the whole song. And then all the other pieces kind of tie into how hard the song is going to go, and like how big, kind of like how Tyler put it earlier. So I think the synths really kind of give it that eerie kind of vibe, or really industrial. But I think that it synths can set a tone for the song that we make.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely, I agree. I think the synths more often than not set the tone of what direction the song is going to go in.
where does this stomp come from? Where does that oh man, it's really okay.
The stomp lives in us. It lives in all of us.
Yeah.
It's pretty across the board at this point. Yeah.
It's hard to not have the stomp in when we're making the music. Honestly, what's funny is that all of us learned when we were learning instruments, and it's been a while now since we were in the dungeon training, but we only really played Rammstein, Held Machina, like really straightforward stuff like that, almost because we loved it so much. But now it's looking back, it was almost like just super training for Wertlos because we just refused to play anything else. We just didn't want to play other stuff. We were like, we're just really just narrow-minded about it. And I think with that, we just really learned how to be very staccato with the instrumentation, really enjoy that. And also it gives me some time to, breathe. So
Breathe, really.
breathe.
So there's a convenience to it
breathe.
as well.
It does help.
Because a lot of times I think bands set out to achieve something in a genre. If some kids say, all right, we want to start a grind band, right? So we know that we have to play fast, we have to be chaotic. If a band wants to play, technical death metal, they know that they have to be very proficient in their instrumentation and with their arrangements and stuff like that. But it's so interesting to me because when I listen to Wertlos, it's a feeling, in addition to the melodies and the hooks, it's also a feeling too. So is that conscious? Like when you're writing songs, what is the relationship between the melodies and the hooks versus like the feeling? Does one take priority over the other? Or?
I think that you've really hit it, that it is mostly about the feeling. Now, we want, of course, to have the melodies, hooks, whatever, but it's more or less we're trying to get you to that space, to whatever Nagel is a cool example because Nagel is really about rebellion because the song is Nails and going into it, and it's all about scarring your skin, all this stuff. It's really about tattoos and rebelling, and in a silly way, rebelling against your parents, whatever, against authority, against, Wawa who says you can only have so many tattoos and one piercing, all that bullshit.
Did they say that?
Oh, yeah, they say that shit.
Yeah, I think they just put some shit out that's like you can only have 2 piercings on your face.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crazy how it is for people who want to express themselves. So Nagel is that. It's my anger over that. It's our anger over that, and our rebellion against it, and has a little catchiness to it, but it's supposed to be that raw rebellion and the impending that I'm gonna do it. Dum, dum. It's coming. It's knocking at the door. Like you can't stop it. All right.
So that is the answer that I'm so happy you said that because I couldn't put together in my head what I was trying to get at, but that was it right there. And that is one of the things that I love so much about Wertlos is that right there. Wow. I'm blown away.
Thank you, man. You're too kind.
No.
Too kind. Thank you. Yes.
Now, what about a song also on Mitternacht? Maybe my favorite. I don't know. Maybe my favorite. But it's one of the more like sort of upbeat, kind of like fun songs. Does one immediately come to mind?
Corpa?
Corpa, yes.
I'm waiting for him to say it. It's Corpa. It's gotta be Corpa. No, I get it. And it's good because in the song Bodies, right? It's electronic body, and it's about accepting becoming a machine and all that, but it's also about moving your body and forgetting about your worries and that you've seen the truth, right? And in one way, the truth is that technology is also coming, right? And the concept of the mashing of man and machine But then on the other end is about fuck it, let's dance it out. So, you know.
So in a way, are you with that? Are you celebrating the merging? Maybe because it's inevitable. There's nothing you can do about
Well,
it.
I mean, now the band's going to argue.
Yeah, we have split views.
Now we're arguing about the machines. I see it as an inevitability, like you said, and as a tool. Of course, there already seems to be some gross negligence with it, but there can be gross negligence with a hammer. You know, so it's just it can get really gross with a hammer.
Really
So
gross,
it can
yeah,
get really
gross
gross with a hammer. But yeah, I think that the song definitely, once again, leaves it up to interpretation. I'm not happy about it, right? But maybe I will be happy later. I don't know.
Well, what's the split? Who's either in disagreement or resisting it?
I wouldn't say it's a disagreement per se, but it's a fuck AI kind of thing. But that's really easy to say. At the end of the day, most of the problems that are happening with AI is human use of that technology. It's not the technology itself. And I think, like Ty said, incorporation more and more of that into our everyday lives is inevitable. And how we respond as, a society, a community is really what's going to make that be problematic or really beneficial.
It's always surprising to hear bands that sound, let's say, they're electronically based, they're industrial, they're techno or something. With me, admittedly, not living as much inside that world as another person who's, an industrial fan, just call them that, right? I look at bands like that and think they are all about the welcoming of the machines, the merging, whatever. But it seems like that's really not the case. There's a resistance to it. There's a resistance, and you're all ready for a fight if it came down to it. I mean, some Terminator stuff there, but I think so I know the band Fear Factory pretty well. I know their music, but they are resistant. If I'm understanding, where they're coming from, psychologically, philosophically rather, they are resistant to it. They are John Connor. They're not the T8. And is that kind of what I'm picking up too? It's although you play industrial, like you're using that as a weapon against the oncoming, whatever they're going to call it, singularity. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we use technology to make art, but also fuck AI. I mean, I think it is a very strong component in our songs with the synth lines, but all of it is inherently human. The guitar, the vocals, the lyrics, the drums, the bass, the synths are also human. I mean, we're writing those lines. We're not plug and play type shit. So it is definitely a resistance, but also inevitability, like Ty mentioned.
Is it the difference then making something beautiful with it? The synths, Wertlos's music, period. But it's not AI driven. But I'm just saying what you described, the way you describe the synths being like built technology. They're not AI, but you drew a parallel between your synths and the AI a minute ago. But so is the difference then using it to make something beautiful versus something not good? Like you said, gross negligence before. I mean, is that pretty much the line then?
Yeah, well, there's no emotion, no feeling in it. Like you said, you've experienced all these feelings when you listen to music, be it our songs or any other band songs. So I don't know, that experience to me is the purity in the music and in the art, and for the artist to be able to get their like message out and to put their feeling into it. I just don't see that crossover with AI,
Yeah, absolutely. And the visuals as well. We make all of that. All of our videos, all of our cover art, it is all made by us. And as I mentioned, I think the human use of AI is the real problem. And I personally don't feel AI has any part in artistic expression, that should be 100% human. Otherwise, it's not art.
Wow, shit, that's a pretty strong like stance to take there, but one that I got to think about because I'm, man, I'm with you on that in my heart. I have seen other things that like done by AI, but with like the human as like the operator behind it and stuff like that, and the reason I'm not so quick to shit on it so soon is only because I see the reaction that the person has after they produced it, their happiness, their excitement, they're proud of it and everything. So how are you on that? You know, if the operator it makes them happy to do it, but you're right, it's not painting. It's, you know.
Well, you raise a good point, though, because it's all about perception. If it elicits these feelings in the user, I can't really drag it either,
Where are you all on that?
Well, I agree with Emily.
It's a
People can
fine
do whatever
line.
they want.
Yeah,
you know?
people can do whatever they want.
They do whatever they want. The problem that it becomes is when you are, taking the place of real artists who are doing it. That's what, be it art, like, paintings, whatever, be it digital art, be it making t-shirts, whatever, music now. So it's that part is hard because you're taking like to use AI as a tool in that, but also I'd have to be an expert on all of the ways that AI is used in it.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely not an expert. Disclaimer, I am not an expert.
Not an expert on
These
that.
are all very
either.
emotional feelings.
This is serious. This is.
But to your point, it comes down to the human use of it. And we have these mega corporations that are making intentional decisions to promote almost 100% AI generated music, art, whatever it is. And it isn't fair, and that sounds very privileged to say, but it's not fair to these people who pour their life and everything about who they are into the art that they're creating for an AI band to get millions of streams on Spotify.
Is that what it is? You said like it's. I hear this word derivative a lot in the argument. So the AI creation is pulling from references that are publicly available, right? Like if it's, say it's a picture, someone types in a bunch of prompts or something like that. This is what I want to see in front of me. So the AI will then search whatever access it has and find examples that line up with what the person was describing, and that's where it pulls the like inspiration from. Is that how it works?
I mean, from how I understand it, yeah, but I think that also leads to, if you're using AI, you're not really going to get anything new. And I think that's something with, people making music. You can get these, genre bending, new kind of styles in music. And that's how we've seen music evolve over time, and these new styles and genres come out. And so I think if you need to have a creative outlet and, AI helps you with that, that's great. But I think I like listening to, people making music because you can get those new ideas, the true creative, inspiration from all these different genres and then making something yours. You only get that from humans, in my opinion. So,
do you think that you can spot AI art?
It's getting harder.
Yeah, it's getting more and more.
Nope.
Yeah. Usually, I will say usually. But I think that it is a scary reality that we're moving toward not really being able to tell.
Do you feel threatened in any way musically?
If robots start doing Wertlos, Yeah. We are in trouble.
Yeah, if robots start eliciting
we're done.
the feelings and
It's a wrap. It's
experiences
a
we're
wrap.
trying to put out there, I
Yeah.
mean, we're cooked.
We're cooked.
We're cooked as this.
We're cooked.
Well, I mean, I'm just sitting there thinking about how people have had discussions before. I've read them online. People said, trying to come up with like a crazy genre, like industrial country, or, you know, like
That's awesome.
like something like that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
That's awesome.
Something like
Might
that.
be our next album now.
But it's like, I could sit there, before I heard Wertlos, I could sit there and be like, I want to hear industrial with the guitar tones and the mood, but make it sound like a sludge or a doom band would. So that means then, if somebody like me is sitting there that doesn't know Wertlos and types that in, there's a chance that it's going to go to your music and borrow it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's true.
how would you feel if you knew that is a possibility?
To meet your copycat. the other self.
The other self?
The other self.
other self.
The AI Wertlos.
That's kind of fitting for
No,
us to end up
I
being the
wouldn't be
tool.
happy about it.
No, it would kind of be fucking devastating.
No.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, thankfully, anyone personally, at least not yet, that has had that happen. But there are stories out there of artists that have had a copycat AI create a literal copy on Bandcamp, and they're making money off of this person's original art just because they put it through some type of AI generator to change one melody. And that's just fucking crazy. It's insane.
Well, I mean, I think the advantage that Wertlos has and anyone else is that you can play live, and you know, that's so great for somebody like me, because and many others out there, because we want the experience. You know, you obviously can't do that. I'm sorry. You obviously can't do that with like AI. How's AI gonna, you know, get up on stage and everything? And, you know, we want the experience. And maybe that's one of the things that's a hard differentiator between AI and the real thing. Well, yes, it is. I'm answering my own question. I'm answering my own
For
question.
now.
Yeah, for now. Yeah. Holograms and all that
Yeah,
shit.
they'll
Who knows?
Humanoids.
Humanoids.
Well, you had we've had a number of holographic artists
Yep.
like over time.
See it at DJ sets all the time. They got the giant projector behind them and all the different visuals and everything too. So I mean, it'll make its way.
That's the whole thing about the whole underground scene in Richmond and anywhere, but especially in Richmond, is you're not going to get the feeling coming to the shows and stuff. You're not going to get that feeling sitting at home on your phone, anything like that. You're gonna have to come out and experience it, come to these underground places and live a little. And it's that, I think, is the core of music that brings people together and gives people something to talk about and something to experience together. And then in your individuality and in yourself, you can also reflect on the music in a deeper way. But I know that for us, just the music scene being as accommodating as it is, and everybody's just very tight-knit groups that look out for each other, it's really, dare I say, heartwarming.
Yeah, I agree. The local music scene in Richmond, the community there is amazing.
That must be a testament to Richmond then, because I look around at the shows going on and I see mainly hardcore, mainly metal, and I haven't seen a ton of industrial yet. Although Bobby from Rival Booking told me about another band called Prisoner.
Oh yes, Prisoner,
Yeah.
great. They're amazing.
Great band. Yep.
Great band. Okay. And my experience growing up in New England was very, very different. What I observed, it was if you were a different type of band other than your respective scene, you could not cross over into that scene, you know. Thrash bands were not welcomed in the hardcore scene, you know, and the other way around. And industrial wasn't welcomed in grind or something like that. But I mean, each scene had sound really did have their own scene and stuff like that. And that doesn't seem to be the case in Richmond. Because I went to a show where a couple years ago it was a grind band, it was a punk band. Well, some of these genres kind of like fit together and everything. But I guess the point I'm trying to make though is that it seems like you'd be perfectly welcomed on a bill with any of the, a death metal band, a punk band. I mean, is that kind of the case right
Yeah,
there?
I mean, we've played the cross genre bills, and they're a lot of fun. Of course, like in anything, there is the scenes and shows too. Like you book a show, so it has a certain feel and sound throughout. So you have bands that are similar, because people want to go to a death metal show all night. But you do have a lot more, I think, of the cross genre stuff. We've enjoyed playing with the other types of music other than just like industrial, which it has a great scene in itself in Richmond with like Fallout and Odin's and these places being like a hub for it, and the crossover has been, I think, where we've learned a lot with, like you said, the doomy, the like Richmond inspiration, of being able to play and be around these hardcore bands and stuff, because we're just like listening to industrial metal and New Deutsche Hardcore all the time. So
I'm so sorry. What is that word? I'm not familiar with that word.
It's like the genre is like Rammstein, Heldmaschine, Eisbrecher. They're called NDH, New Deutsche Härte, which is like New German hardcore hardness. It's just their spin on industrial metal.
So that's something different from, say, like Kraftwerk, right? I mean, like
yeah.
It's a very specific subgenre. Like very specific.
That's like full band guitars, all that with the synth elements, and most of the time it's German lyrics, but it definitely branched out into Finland and surrounding places that all have their own little take on it. And it's a style that's really not done in America at all. There's like some that have sort of done it, like Hansel and Gretel and stuff, but they're also very American, so they put their very American spin on it, like us Americans do. So
that wouldn't be like, say, Frontline Assembly would not qualify for that word.
No.
I want to try to say it.
You got it.
Well, I'm going to say it for you in like an American accent, because he's saying very German. New Deutsche Harte.
New Deutsche Harte?
Yeah.
Perfect. That is so good.
Okay.
God.
He hates it.
No,
but that's the American way to say it.
You know what I think? You know what else I think was really cool and fitting was what you just did a second ago. You went bum bum bum, because that's what Wertlos sounds like.
Yeah. Yep.
What makes somebody an, let's call them, industrial head? Why does one choose, say, industrial as the core of their listening and loving over something else? Like, okay, your music, it's very aggressive, okay? Like we were talking before, but the like stomp, like you can kick some ass, like listening to that, either someone else or just like your own trip that you're going on, right. And you want to go on that trip because you like it. Or at least I do. It makes me feel good, like right here, but then someone else might also want aggression, and they'll listen to Obituary, they want a little bit of groove, like with their death metal or something, or they'll listen to like some I Hate God, or like Anal Cunt or something like that if they want grind, right? What attracts a person to industrial? How does it like work for you?
I would say that probably the mechanical way that the riffs and the beats are compared to, of course, all the other genres of metal. There's a lot more swing and progressiveness in it. And I think that beat really drives home the mechanical side of it. And which also is kind of like a boring point, I think, that we're trying to change a little bit too, is still have that mechanical feel and the drive of industrial music, but like in a much more, metal, I don't know how to say it, doom metal, sludge metal type of way, but keeping it aggressive, like very aggressive. So, and that's all Kevin's doing. Is
Trying to do.
the aggressive drums.
Yeah, trying to keep it like very upbeat, but kind of like Tyler said, those mechanical elements that you can hear the gears shifting, you can hear the clock ticking, you can hear all these other things that kind of keep with all the rest of the aggression in the song. I think what makes it industrial, and then you have just the metal aspect on top of it that just brings in that hardness to it. So yeah.
There is a coldness that I get when I hear like just industrial music in general. Maybe that's even why there's a big festival out in Chicago every year, I think. What am I thinking of? Cold
Waves.
Yes, Cold Waves. Yeah, Cold Wave. Is that an somewhat accurate description of it, industrial? I mean, have others described it as having a cold feeling?
Yeah, sure. I mean, heck yeah. That's cold metal.
Especially if you get into other subgenres of industrial, like dark wave or cold wave. That's like
right.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of, I don't know, under the guise of like goth alternative stuff. But to me, I think it's all just evolved way past all that stuff and crossed over a lot. So many bands that have industrial elements in it that don't consider themselves industrial at all. And
yeah, there's a lot of new metalcore bands that have industrial elements. It's just they don't put that identifier on their music.
Are they conscious of that when they're writing that? Meaning, like, do they realize that because I can think of a hardcore band right now that you can argue they have industrial elements to their sound, but I can't imagine they sat down and they said, like, all right, we want this. The band's called In Harm's Way. Same kind of thing where somebody not familiar with either industrial or hardcore might hear it and they would be asked to describe it. And I bet you some of their description would align more closely like with industrial. So do you think that some of these bands, their challenge is that they're just trying to create something heavy, something that moves people and everything. Do you think sometimes people stumble onto a certain sounds that they didn't intend to? I mean,
I think the sound has a little bit of an aesthetic to it. You know what I mean? The industrial feel, like you said, it's kind of like grungy, very metal, rustic. It kind of has that feeling to it. So I think even if you're not into industrial, having those elements into your song gives you that feeling of those sounds that when they make it sounds cold or industrial, which is what they want you to feel, right? Because even though it's not, those feelings aren't strictly like industrial feelings, that you can pull them into all these different kinds of songs. So I think when you make a song, you're like, I want like a nuclear siren playing, because it makes you feel like there's some like eerie doom that's coming, you know what I mean? Or, clock ticking, like time's almost up. I think if you're not into industrial, it's just pulling these sounds to help enhance that song's feeling to the vibe you're trying to deliver.
Well, okay. I think you just sort of shone a light, if I'm using that tense or like correctly and everything, on the versatility of at least Wertlos's music. Because, okay, Corporate, great example, right? I can imagine that a normie would, and they probably do, love that song. You might not need to be do they use the term rivet head anymore? Is that like such a
thing? Yeah.
OG.
Okay.
That's an OG term.
I wanted to say it before, but I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to say industrial head instead. I'm glad I feel better now. I'm comfortable enough.
Get it out.
Yeah. But I think of much of Mitternacht, or all of Wertlos, period, can be enjoyed by, I don't know, a mom who she gets out of work at 5 o'clock. She's got to pick up her kids, but she wants to pick up coffee from Starbucks beforehand, and she knows she has to make dinner and everything. She's stressed, maybe she can put on Corper and that kind of, or an athlete, somebody training for like a fitness competition or something, same thing, or, a senator, I don't know.
It's like industrialized is kind of like we compartmentalized for you into an easier serving of all of that stuff. So like just like you said, it has a crossover capability, and can be enjoyed by the soccer mom who's secretly just gotta get it out and just gotta get stuff done.
Getting down
and
to
you're in my way. Quite enough. And you lock in with some Wertlos, or the kid who, is also feeling all these things of adolescence and all that. And the other language is mysterious and has another layer of all that, fun to it. And I think that you're saying it's fun. Wertlos is like, hard ass, rough fun. Yeah.
Do you remember the movie Boogie Nights by any chance?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And cut to Boogie Nights.
Uh-oh.
There was a part when one of the main characters is in a home stereo shop because he works there, and he's trying to sell a certain like stereo, and to demonstrate, he puts on, it was like some sort of like country music, and his description is he's trying to sell it, and he says, can you feel just that, like that curl in your belly? And can you imagine, we're talking about music that makes you feel something. Can you imagine if that guy heard yours?
Going nuts. We get a big kick out of people enjoying it. That's why we're doing it. That's why we love to perform. We just love to be on stage and connect with the audience and feel that. And like you said, see the people who've never heard us before, or have never heard industrial metal, have no clue about it, see us come on stage and they're like, what is happening? And then it starts and you're sucked in. And now you're having a great time. And we're having a great time with you, and you don't even have to know what I'm fucking saying. And we're having a great time together. And we're, getting out our feelings, whatever, the anger of the day, the year, the life, whatever. We're putting it right there. And, at the end, you get to have a beer or some liquid death or something and just chill out and be fucking people for a little bit before the fucking machines come. Yeah. And, I think it is just that we really love the community and playing live and the interaction with fans. Really love it. And we want you to enjoy it and to feel what we feel and to be able to see what we feel. So we like to present the whole package. We like to do music videos, all that stuff. We take great pleasure in that, because I know that growing up, I got into an artist and I just couldn't get enough. I wanted music videos, I wanted singles, I wanted everything, just like, So we try to be as prolific as we can, but it's hard out there. The grind is hard. So, you do what you can.
Well, the follow-up to Mitternacht is out soon, isn't it?
March 13th.
It's going to blow up. We want it to blow up and get crazy.
Very excited.
Because we're really proud of the sound and the direction that it went. I think is going to be really fun to play on stage. We've been practicing a lot, so we like to drill and work very hard, but it gives us great pleasure.
The singles that you've released so far have, in my opinion, thankfully not been a great departure from everything in the past. Are we to expect any kind of surprises or curveballs?
Oh
or anything
no,
like that?
I just think it's an overall maturing of the sound, you know, and being able maturing and writing music and of composing it, mixing it, all that stuff, because it's all, you know, we're doing it all, so it's a lot to learn while you're doing it, which pretty much all bands are doing, you know. So it's a struggle out there to get all the work done. But the like with Allegiance, that has a real, we did it in English on purpose because we wanted to get that message across about, you know, the fetishization
You got it.
Fetishization.
fetishization.
Oh shit.
I barely speak English. I don't really speak any one language.
Fetishize.
Of guns and gun violence and the obsession of guns and all of that in this country, not just in this country, around the world, but in this country. And so we wanted to do that. So, and then Wahnsinn, the follow-up is about group thought and being pulled into this massive delusion of the masses and all that. And so, and Wertlos is about change. So
I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it. Like I really, really can't, you know.
we appreciate that, man. That's deep.
Oh,
Yeah, we'd love it if you came to our album release show.
You have to come.
that's the 14th one.
That's the
Yeah.
14th.
That'll be my first time at Odin's too.
Yeah.
It's a
It's
great,
really
We'll hold your
great
hand.
venue.
It's a great venue.
Yeah.
Yep, great venue. It is more underground, so it's BYOB. But yeah, it's a great venue.
Well, I've never been to like an industrial club before or anything like that. You know, I've never been to Cold Waves. I'd like to go. But will I get that experience like watching you live?
Yeah, and the people too. Most people who come to our show, they'll be dressed to impress. So you'll enjoy
Yeah, goth aesthetic is heavy in Richmond, for sure.
Is it really?
Oh yes.
Well, see, I haven't. Well, then again, I don't live in Richmond. I mean, I live in like Fredericksburg, where this studio is, not where I live. But that is going to be really cool to see. You know, it really is, because I've seen movies before where they show a little glimpse of like, you know, goth clubs or, you know, things like that, and even like music that I've heard before. I've always kind of thought in my head, what is it like when like a band like Leather Strip is playing? Like, I don't really know Leather Strip all that well, but I'm familiar with like or like Electric Hellfire Club or something like that, right? You know, the pictures that come to mind are always, you know, pretty. I can't say colorful because there's not a whole lot of colors. You know, there's like a lot of black.
A lot of black.
Lots
A
of
lot
black.
of black.
Lots of black.
I like the rave scene in Blade. It's
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then at
Yeah,
the
that's
end,
a good descriptor.
and with
The
the
blood
blood,
rave.
sucking
Yeah.
too.
Blood
In
rave.
it too. We'll do that too.
You know, like certain things in life, like sometimes people require a pass, right? Like things that you don't want to, like maybe you like them, so you don't want to hold certain things against them. I'm going to have to ask for a pass right now because you're now the second band to have brought up like that scene. I haven't seen that movie. It's my confession.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my God.
Interview is over.
Wrap it up.
Done.
It's a great movie. You should probably watch
cut
it.
to-
I'm going to watch
Highly
it
recommend.
today.
Highly
Cut to Blade.
recommend.
I have to say that now because like I can't hide it anymore. Like, who was it that was here? Maybe it was the kids from Scum City or somebody was talking about that. They said, "Oh no, it was somebody, I don't know." They were talking about Odin's and they brought that scene up, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
It's pretty dead on. Like
It is. No, yeah. Yeah.
between Fight Club and Odin's.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
the
actually a
racing.
perfect analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mix of Fight Club and Blade.
There's a couple Blade movies though, right? I want to make sure I watch I'll watch
first
all,
one.
but
Yeah, the
Watch
first
the
one.
first one.
Original.
Don't waste
Yep.
your time.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
really? Really?
Yeah,
just,
watch the
just
first
only
one.
the first one.
Okay.
Goodness gracious.
Beyond that is a waste of time.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
him.
He likes
I like him.
Oh, I like them. I'll watch them.
But the first one's prolific.
But right.
That's the one that
Don't-
matters.
don't you do it.
I'm kind of like you because I'm always interested in things that happened later on past whether it's a movie franchise or a band's like golden era. Like for instance, like I love Black Sabbath in like the 90s, right? Like I love 90s Black Sabbath too. But I also love Kiss, 90s Kiss and everything too. So I'll probably check out the follow-ups. Like, I don't know if I'll get to them today. The original's definitely going to be watched today. I'm not going to waste any more time not watching it.
It's a lot of movies in that time, like Friday the 13th or whatever. I'll watch all of them, but I know they're not good.
Oh, okay.
Very aware they're not good movies.
Really? Do you have any interest in the Hellraiser franchise?
Don't get this guy started.
Oh,
yes. God.
We have all the
It's
interest.
one of my favorites, but also horrible movies. I watch them all the time. I watch them all the time. They're horrible.
That's good.
Well, I feel like we've covered the, essentials here and everything. And I'm so thankful that I got some of the things that I got to hear some of the things that you said, because before I walked through that door this morning, these were only there was a mystery to me, These are, what's that word when like you think of something but you're not sure what it is? Speculation, right? I had speculations about where you were coming from emotionally, and psychologically and everything. But I want to make sure though, did you feel that you said all that you wanted to say about where the motivation behind the songs and stuff? I mean, do you feel like you've said all that you wanted to say?
I think so. I don't know.
I mean, here, like not in Wertlos' songs. I
Yeah. I know what you're saying. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I just mean that, like, okay, if I ask like what was the motivation behind Nagel? All right,
Yeah.
Nagel. Okay, and you talked about it being about like rebellion. I mean, did you say, and did you feel like you got to say enough about that?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't feel.
The reason I'm asking that is because I'm just so damn interested in where like your heads are all at. So I just wanted to make sure if there was anything that like was like left out, I didn't want to spare that.
To be honest, it's a lot of like poetic writing, and then the German, the poetic writing can be done in a very hard manner, to like geschrieben in der Haut, and like written in the skin, it just has like a weight to it. And the simplicity of the message being that I want to get a tattoo, or I want to do whatever I want to do, right? And I'm gonna do it. And Nagel's that impending done. Now on a surface layer, it's very much has like you said, Hellraiser or horror aspects to it, right? With nails in the flesh and things. But the down deep of it is just that, is rebellion and doing what you want to do, and the, like I said before, the like, impending doom of that of the
And yeah, I mean, I think that's something that makes us mostly being in German really cool, because most Americans don't speak German. And it's very easy to have specific feelings get elicited from an English song. You understand what the lyrics are saying. But because our songs aren't in English primarily, it leaves it very open for the listener. And I think that is something that makes us unique. Not that there aren't bands that sing in other languages. Of course there are. But at least in the local scene in Richmond, there's not much out there. So I personally am very proud of that, even though it's all you with the other languages. But it's something I really enjoy hearing from listeners and fans of what they felt from a song and what it elicited for them.
It's hard to stand out in a city like Richmond because there's so much music, great music. So doing it this way and having a gimmick, but I mean, it's become the band, and it feels good to be able to stand out and to be recognized for, what we built this way.
I hate to bring it back to this, and like my mom's gonna see this, and I swear to God, but she's gonna. I know she's like, "What the hell's going on with him?" But back to drugs for a second, right?
Nice. Well, it's called Relapse.
Yeah, the new album is called
This is
Relapse,
Relapse
for
for
a
a
reason.
reason.
Yep.
So go ahead. Let's hear it.
We've dabbled.
When I listen to Wertlos, I am conflicted because there's a dread. There's a sense of dread, and I know that comes from like your lyrics, from your voice. But then there's also a part of me that wants to dance, or just wants to move. I don't dance, but wants to move. I want to move in a certain way. Maybe I want to get on an elliptical, something like that. And that to me is kind of like there's two different drugs there. There's an upper, the dancey side of things, and then there's like a downer, which is more of like I need to take cover. I need to go into like a defense mode or something like that. Okay, so maybe I'm not talking about drugs. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about at this point or something. But there's just two really strong sides that at least I experience. And what do you make of that?
I think that it's my like bipolar energy is very much like that, where I very much just go, and then can be, upset, whatever, depressed, whatever. So I think that energy is the dual energy that fights a lot with me, because my lyrics a lot of times are very solemn and down deep and sad, a lot of them. And then if not outright angry. And that's like the depressive version. And then getting it out is the up.
Okay, so I'm not totally crazy then.
No, you got it.
Oh, I did. Okay, good. Oh, God. Well, folks, I just I could sit here and talk with you.
Wait a minute. We brought something.
Yeah,
for
we have
you.
a gift for you.
No.
Yes, we have a gift for you.
I have the
yes.
gift. It's right here.
And no.
It's the
And I
world.
see
different
that
one.
you have bones here. We're gonna take this bones for a moment. We're gonna put this.
It's an ashtray.
We have more bones, and this has given us a lot of power. So we'd like it to give you
I
a
can't
lot of power.
accept that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
This is for you.
It's for you.
This is for
It's
you.
yours.
Yeah,
What a gift.
and this is
Thank you so much.
It was a gift to us from Multa Natura, Mother Nature, and so we can only, just pass on his power.
Oh,
So here it is.
I need to know this. Can it go up on the wall?
Go
We
in.
would
Wherever
be
you want.
honored.
Yeah.
Oh,
we would be honored.
You could
Thank
put it
you
on the
so
wall.
much. That is such a big deal. This is such a big deal to have this there. You really shouldn't have done that. I mean, I'm glad you did.
We appreciate you and what you're
Yes.
doing for bands
Oh.
and this space that you've created to be able to talk and reach different, because you have a lot of different audience members who, are watching listening to different music. So you're giving people the opportunity to discover other artists and music. So we thank you for what
Yes.
you're doing.
Thank you so much.
No, this is so beautiful right here. This is so beautiful, and I can't put into words how thankful I am. And I swear that on these rosary beads right here, okay? Like, oh man, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I saw that out of the corner of my eye before, and I was like, oh wait, maybe that's like part of
Sure.
their gear or something like that. And no, it's oh man, maybe we just leave this here. I don't know. Although I would really like it to be on display to give it the showcasing it deserves. Nah, shit. Maybe that's what that spot has been calling for.
It looks like home.
Oh, does it?
It looks like home.
There's also underneath old Merle Allen right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's a spot.
Get the hammers.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
Damn. Oh man, that's so huge, so huge. So, all right, well, folks, I'm going to end this the same way I've been ending all the episodes lately, which is I don't know how to end it. Every single episode.
Das
here.
Ende.
What is that word?
Das Ende. The end.
Dominant. That's what I'm going to do from now on.
Das Ende.
Das Ende. It's not going to sound anywhere near as cool as that. But we'll fucking see you next time on Concrete Spew and Das Ende.
Das Ende, jawohl.
Das Ende.
Wow.